Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm coming with you with a special video that isn't exactly going to be going into certain Power Ranger stuff, but more so going into something that I've been hearing a lot about very recently. And so the biggest thing on the radar for a lot of Power Ranger fans, myself included, has been that Disney and Hasbro are apparently going to be working together to create a Power Rangers reboot series. And I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to feel about that. On the one hand, I'm a fan of Power Rangers. I naturally am. I grew up with Dino Thunder and I've loved the series since. Though I will admit I'm still trying to catch up on some of the more recent seasons. But the bigger thing is apparently what's going on is that they're in the works of making a reboot series. And I honestly don't know what to think about that. I mean, sure, I'm glad that they're going to into a new direction for this and that there's going to be a lot more that comes out of this kind of series. And we're not just going to keep getting the same exact universe or dimension from Power Rangers for the next 30 years. Um, and I am kind of glad that they are doing something along those lines because it'll open up the doors a little bit more. And one thing I got to point out is that Andre, Black Nerd Comedy, he actually has a great video that goes into pretty much everything that came out when this was first announced earlier this year. And what I when doing a little bit more research, I found that their set that production is supposed to begin or filming is supposed to begin in January of 2026, starting in London. And here's the thing, we don't know anything else about it. We don't know if they're going to go all the way back to Mighty Morphin or if they're going to call on the suits from and stories and monsters from a different season, maybe a season that they haven't adapted yet into Power Rangers. And I'll admit, I don't know where they should take it. I've heard a lot of people saying that they're most likely going to go all the way back to Mighty Morphin because that's the most popular, and people are still talking about that season today because it was the basis for what Power Rangers is. Biggest thing with me is I don't know how to take that because in my head, that either means that they're going to be literally going all the way back to Mighty Morphin and how they did the show back then, which was basically using the Ranger footage and basically dubbing it in America. Um, and I don't think that's a good idea to go all the way back to that just to make it so that you are what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, I don't think they should go all the way back to Ranger and remake the show from there. Because here's the thing, they already did that, and honestly, if they do that again, one for some of us like me, honestly, this is my opinion. I am not saying that this is what you guys should think. This is just coming from me. But I feel that if they go all the way back to Ranger and remake Mighty Morphin in that regard, it's going to feel a little odd because they already did that. They already made Ranger into Power Rangers. It was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all the way back in '93. And to be honest, it's also that, well, the video quality. I mean, that was the biggest thing about Power Rangers that, in all honesty, kind of makes it a little funny for me to watch it because the film quality between the American footage and the Japanese footage was very obvious. And honestly, that's kind of just what I loved about it. It was just Um, it was just the fact that they would go from having crystal clear HD quality on the little TVs that we had back then, and then suddenly it would go from crystal clear to grainy as all heck. And honestly, I don't think we should do that. I don't even know what they should do. In my personal opinion, they shouldn't go all the way back to Mighty Morphin. I mean, if they want to have it be that, oh, we go through some of the same uh, storylines, if we go through the same lessons, if we go through the same kind of character arcs, heck, I would say if we decide to use the same names and at least similar appearances for the actors, that's fine with me. But I don't think they should go all the way back to Jew Ranger to for the costumes and everything because yes, I know those are iconic. They are the basis for Power Rangers because they were simple but they were memorable. Instead, I think what they should do is go to a different season of Super Sentai that hasn't been adapted. And I'll be honest, part of me wants them to go all the way back to Go Ranger. I know that's probably not going to happen, but I mean, if they can at least get the suits or recreate the suits in the classic spandex style, I'll be honest, that would be cool. And if we just had like a maybe not like full seasons, but of like 22 episode multi-season stuff. But if we instead had maybe one season of 22 to maybe 30 episodes each, going from Go Ranger to what was it? I think it was Jetman, and maybe even putting in some of the other unadapted seasons of Power Rangers in there. I think that might actually be a little bit of a interesting idea, and it would give returning fans kind of the pleasure of, oh, we now have a universe where we have the unadapted seasons that can now be in Power Rangers. And for new fan and for incoming audience members, for what their target demographic is for kids, it could be, oh, these are actually pretty. It could be a bit of an interesting thing because these would be Rangers that have not been seen in Power Rangers at all in any of the 30 years that Power Rangers has been going. And I kind of want that. I kind of want a series where they, or at least a season or something, where they go to an unadapted season of Power Rangers and just give us that as like an alternate universe. And like I said, going back to with what Andre Black Nerd Comedy said about this. If it does well, it could potentially lead us to having multiple different styles of it. And a lot of people have been wondering, with a lot of people wondering about with a an animated series. And honestly, I kind of want an animated series as well. A lot of the actors have gone through a few different kind of I don't want to say transitions, but in short, bodily transformations. Like they can't exactly move like they used to. They're getting older. They have a lot of different things that are going on in their personal lives as well that makes like actually filming this stuff and doing all the stunts and everything. Basically, all that's gone out the window for a lot of these actors. And I think if they make an animated series, that would actually be a really cool idea. And it would give us a chance to, it would give them a chance as well to also make a series that focuses on things that maybe we couldn't get in the classic Power Ranger format. For example, we all know and I would assume love the Shattered Grid event of Power Rangers, which was legit one of the coolest storylines in the Power Ranger comics. I will admit, I haven't read everything about Shattered Grid, but I do know the story. An evil and potential spoilers. Evil Tommy goes across all dimensions to kill Power Rangers and take their powers. I want to see that. For a fact, they are probably not going to put that into a live action thing, but I would say make an animated series that maybe adapts this idea. And heck, I'd say go even further with it too. I mean, Dimensions in Danger, they had a big emphasis on this and on the different dimensions. And so go with something like that, but expand the dimensions even more. Like, one idea that I have is that instead of there being just like, oh, we are Rangers from alternate dimensions, and instead of it being like, oh, the timeline of Power Rangers up to, let's say, the past 30 years or something, the timeline of Power Rangers, instead of being a straight line, it's now different dimensions for each of them. Go even further than that, I'd say. Include also the Sentai into that series as well. I'm just imagining how cool it would be if we had a Go Ranger sentry fighting alongside a Red Tyranno sentry or something like that. And personally speaking, I think that would be a bit more of an interesting idea because it could open up the multiverse of the Power Ranger universe, which is something that I've been thinking about for a while. Technically speaking, there's the different dimensions in Power Rangers already, but what about with the Sentai? Would those count as a different dimension in the Power Ranger universe? And if you do a series like this, bring in the Sentai. Say, yes, these count as part of the Power Rangers multiverse. Or Power Rangers is just part of the Sentai multiverse or something. Heck, I'd say even go further and bring in the Common Riders as well. And even the Metal Heroes, too. I'm not kidding. I grew up with Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, and I'd love to see him alongside the Rangers fighting against Lord Draken. I'd love to see Kamen Rider Dragon Knight and uh, the Tokyugers. Yeah, I'd love to see Kamen Rider Dragon Knight with the Tokyugers and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fighting against Lord Draken. And in all honesty, even even bringing I'm sorry, I'm running out of breath here. I'm doing this all in one take, guys. So, because this is something I do want to get off my chest very easily. And I'd say also, even you could go further if you wanted. Part of me wants them to actually make more Power Ranger tabletop RPG kind of things. And part of me wants there to be a make your own Power Ranger RPG like manual and board game style, like maybe the with some figurines that come in the different colors of that Power Rangers has had in the past, and make your own story kind of thing. And then that way, and the bigger thing about it with the RPG stuff is we already have Hyperforce, and I'm pretty sure there was another one. I think it was Day of Destiny or something. You guys can let me know in the comments below, but there was another Power Ranger RPG that came out after Hyperforce had already wrapped up, kind of thing. But the bigger thing is, take Hyperforce. That is such a fun and interesting series, and I'm I'm not gonna lie. I want to see that turned into an animated series where you just bring back all the actors and everything to reprise their roles. I want to see that as an animated series, and I want to see how this story continues because Hyperforce only had one season and it left it off on such a huge cliffhanger. And I'm not going to lie, I am just distraught that they never made a season two. It was so much fun, and I really wanted to see more. But yeah, make a animated series that goes into some of these Power Ranger ideas that we never got a chance to see and show us what they could have been like or something. Like take Hyperforce, put it into an animated series and just reprise have the cast reprise their roles from the show. Or take I want to say Power Rangers Hexagon, which was the original idea for Hurricaneger before they changed it to Ninja Storm. Make that into an animated series. Show us an alternate universe where that happened and what that would look like in that situation. And again, this is all just my personal opinions on what this could entail. But yeah, I think the bigger thing about this is that there should be a live action series, a live action season that can uh, appeal to the fans of old, basically everybody who'd be watching this, and appeal to the new fans, the new kids, and basically suck them into this story as well. And maybe then they could uh, check out all the original stuff. But then after this season wraps up, or I guess in this case, let's just say this is a one season thing. After this season and this series would wrap up to suck people in, go in three different directions. Make an animated show that's specific for the younger crowd, maybe toddlers to 10-year-olds or so. Make it a live action show that's catered towards everybody, the new kids and the returning fans, that maybe goes into some of the more, maybe goes into some different universes or something. Maybe, heck, maybe even a universe hopping series that can introduce even the new kids to the Sentai and make a either live action or animated show, maybe sometimes could be both, maybe both, that caters to the grown up fans. Maybe something along the lines of, hey, we see, basically along the lines of saying, hey, older fans, we see you out there, and we are going to give you the series that you've all been requesting for and want to see. A darker look in the. So basically, a lighthearted, kid-friendly show. I'd say similar to Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures for the kids and the toddlers. A live-action show that basically is just the new Power Rangers, the new, let's say, in this kind of new era, the new main Power Rangers, the one that can appeal to everybody, the one that will mostly appeal to kids, but the grown-up fans can still find something good to come back to, and a series that is specifically a darker tone in the Power Ranger universe, one where literal legit anything could happen. Uh, Basically, in my head, the equivalent of what the Sentai is in America. So basically, like there'd be blood going in certain shots, maybe like the blood running down the from the mouth kind of thing. And people could die, and there are like higher stakes involved. Or heck, even just that adult series adapting more of the stories that we grew up with. And so, like the Shattered Grid event, or the Beyond the Grid event, or even just a lot of the original comic stories. Heck, even I'd say even uh, bringing in brand new, darker uh, seasons into that more adult show. Basically, in my head, kind of thing. It could be, let's say, we go back to Dino Thunder kind of thing. I've got that in my head all the time. So let's just go with this. How my head would play this out is we have a main Dino Thunder, which would be pretty much the one that we all grew up with. Um, while there is also a, I don't want to say a baby animated show, but basically one that's meant to introduce the toddler generation into this, where they're more lighthearted, where they have just nothing but the classic shenanigans that they all get up to. So, like, it'd be basically kind of like the lighter episodes of Dino Thunder, but just them, but just those lighter episodes. And they would come up with new lighter episodes just for that age range. And then for the adult, um, then for the adult show tied into it, it would basically be doing the same thing that regular Dino Thunder did, but going even darker. So like maybe less uh comedy comic relief from Cassidy and Devin and more emphasis on the tortured nature of Trent during the White Thunder arc. Because in all honesty, that one of the best um, arcs in Dino Thunder, and in my opinion, in the show in general. And so it was, and so go into more of that darker tone, and maybe even darker in how the White Dino Gem is corrupting Trent, and use that in the adult show. And all honesty, I'd love to see that kind of thing happen in Power Rangers altogether. I am not joking. I know this has been a bit of a long video, guys, and I do apologize for that, and I apologize for my constant like spacing out and stuttering kind of thing, but this is something that I wanted to get out as soon as possible before any actual like straight up news about the show drops or before they started filming because I really do want to see something like this happen where it's a I do want to see what they come up with next for Power Rangers. And in all honesty, while I do like Power Rangers, I will admit I have had a bit of a struggle getting through some of these newer seasons just because they kept continuing the story when I thought it was done. But even some of the newer seasons have good stories in them, but a lot more dumb jokes as well. But I would love to see what they come up with next for Power Rangers, along with, again, I hope that they come up with a three-way idea or even a two-way idea where they go into like the where they go at least into like a kid direction and a grown-up direction and just give us the stuff that the older fans have been asking for years and give a lighter and introductory look to the different Power Ranger stuff for the little kids. And I do want to see something like that in the future. And so, yeah, this is just a rant from me, just saying what I wanted from Disney Plus's Power Rangers, as well as just what I want from Hasbro and Disney and 20th Television in general. So, yeah, with all that out of the way, guys, I'm again sorry for the length of this video, but again, I do appreciate what with you guys checking this out. So feel free to give a like, leave a comment on what you think they should do with Power Rangers in the future. And honestly, let me know what you want me to talk about next. I do love those kinds of comments. So may the power protect you all, and I'll see you guys next time.